Welcome to In Case You Wanted to Know. My name is John Purchase. In the room with me, Derek Showerman and the inimitable Jim Henderson. We are a podcast that's going to jump into conversation occasionally and talk about things like community, downsizing, culture, sustainability. We hope that you'll join us for a few of these conversations because we don't all always know the things we think we know. And the three of us, often don't know what we're talking about either, but we're going to get into it and have these discussions anyway. So welcome, gentlemen.
Hey, thanks, John, and thanks for the intro, and Derek for joining us.
Sure.
This being our first crack at it, in case you wanted to know, is going to be a series of topics that we're going to, as John mentioned, a lot of times people don't think about the things that they maybe want to know about, and hopefully these topics are things that will bring to light the things that you wanted to know but didn't know you wanted to. And so there's a lot of things out there that catch our attention, and as a company we've embraced change and embraced being different, and sometimes it's just taking a different perspective and then bringing that back to people, and they say, I didn't know about that. So that's hopefully what we'll be bringing to an audience, and we hope to get some engagement, and we'll see how it goes.
When we were riffing about this, a lot of the topics that Jim talks about is making the world a better place for people, right? And one of the things that Jim always, and I've known him for going on 7 years, he's always thinking about doing right by his staff. And so talk a little bit about William C. Huff, the company, and some of the things that you've done here that is beneficial for the staff, but also for the environment and the community around us.
Well, it's a lot to put in there, and we hope to just touch on it a little bit. I think first and foremost is, again, looking at things differently. Where I got involved with this company almost 36 years ago, and not having any experience in the moving and storage industry, I looked at it from a totally different perspective than somebody who grew up in it. Like, I know people that are second, third, fourth generation in this business, and they're programmed to look at this industry at a certain way. This is the way it's always been done. This is the way my father did it, my grandfather did it. And I didn't have that. So one of the first things that I noticed was this in the industry as a whole, again, getting kind of thrust into it by chance, not by design, but that the industry itself really focused on just using part-time people, not really giving people a career opportunity. It was, and that hasn't really changed a lot in 35 years. And so the first thing I looked at was, what if you look at this industry as building careers, building full-time jobs for people? How would that affect things? And because people want to have that sense of security that they're going to have a job at the end of the busy season in the summer, let's say, when everyone's moving in New England. And so I made that commitment of supporting our first couple of staff members that started full-time during a busy season, and then committed to keeping them through a slow season in the winter. And what happened was we ended up with a better product. We have better experienced people, and people that wanted to give more of themselves to the client, to our homeowners. And so that was noticed. And I think, again, the commitment to the staff was the beginning of looking at things differently and approaching an industry from a totally different perspective. We have some construction going on in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it sounds like somebody's dragging something, but we are building a couple of new offices. We are expanding and growing as we're shaping this. So,
well, you mentioned the long-term staff and the importance of a long-term staff, and that's accurate. I've been working with Jim for 20 years now, and the companies that we have partnered with over the years on some of our projects, some of the best vendors and partners that we've used are staffed with folks who have been there for 10, 15, 20 years. And there is a better product because they have that security. They know they don't need to worry about where their next paycheck is coming from. So they can devote their energy to the work. And that has happened here with William C. Huff over the years. We've built a great staff, and the security is something that is a unicorn these days. And it's great to see our staff comfortable and able to work because they know they have that security.
Well, yeah, Derek, you've been with different companies, and what's your perspective from the outside world? Because you didn't come in as a mover, so to speak. You came in as our digital expert on digital transformation.
Yeah, I came in from Salesforce, and I sat in rooms with State Farm and McDonald's and huge conglomerates. What I saw here that was great was the commitment to mentorship, taking young lads, if you will, right out of high school and making them men and giving them skill sets. And Jim has made a commitment, just for example, bringing in sommeliers. So when you're handling wine, you got to understand why you're handling the wine the way that you're handling the wine, right? It needs to stay at a certain temperature, and that's important.
Back to what you're saying about bringing young, impressionable guys, gals into the fold. That has been kind of where we've excelled. A lot of people are certainly capable of going to college. I know many that maybe we have some guys with degrees that are working with us, and they don't look at it as a job. They look at it as a career. They're looking at building their life around what they do here, and we do have some people right out of high school that instead of going to college, they found their way here. And there's a lot to learn as you expand the client expectations by working with higher and higher end, higher net worth clients, as we have the demand to know the details and knowing people like Merv Richard he's retired now from the National Gallery in DC, who's come in twice to teach our staff on art handling. Those things give this a different perspective, the company a different perspective, and our clients see us differently too. So not only do we have the experience by committing to full-time these people, paying them when things are slow, making sure that they have a full-time job, even if there's minimal work in a particular week, they're around. And so their experience really means a lot. But then the training takes it to another level.
It also gets back to, corporate America. And I think anybody who's listening to this podcast or watching us on YouTube can relate to this. There's hiring season and there's firing season in corporate America. And at Salesforce, we were always expecting November to be the time where it's not just the turkeys getting their heads cut off. You're all sitting there kind of waiting and hoping that you make it through the round of layoffs. And then in February is when they restock the cupboard, if you will, and then they unleash it again every November. And that was the cyclical effect at Salesforce. Here, that's not the case. You can actually enjoy your Thanksgiving and know that you're not going to be looking for a job while you're doing that. And I know that the young men that are here love that fact that they can feel secure and at a young age as well. And that's hugely important. I didn't feel that way when I was in my 20s. I was constantly scrapping and clawing and trying to find, the gig and climb the corporate ladder. For these guys, they're feeling pretty secure, and there is consistencies, especially in New Hampshire. You go up there, the same guys are there day after day after day.
Yeah. Well, some of those guys that started out when Jim first took over the company 37 years ago are still around.
Yeah,
that's unheard of.
We actually had our first retiree about a year and a half ago. He'd been with us almost 36 full years. Kent was my first full-time hire. Looking back, I mean, we've gone through 2 recessions, and I can say honestly, between our two offices here in Florida and up in New England, we laid off one person in New Hampshire during the recession, and it was we had 2 people in the office, and the phones just weren't ringing in 09, 010. We just lost a lot of our middle ground clients, upper middle income people just lost everything, and we were struggling for work. Anyway, we had 2 full-time ladies in the office, and one of them actually, because we were just going to see if we could cut their hours a little bit to just and not lay anyone off. And one gal just, Donna, who's back with us and been with us now almost 30 years, she just said, my husband's making good money, give all the hours to Andrea. And so we were able to accomplish full-time availability for our people without really compromising the experience, because as soon as things picked up, Donna came back, and she's been with us since. Andrea since to California to be with her family. But again, the everyone knows that the commitment is there, and on our part. So that's the beginning, I think, of cultural change. And we always talk about the William CF culture, and we've brought a lot of things back into the culture that makes us unique. The little things, the Taco Tuesdays or Techno Thursdays and various things. I mean, a lot of companies have those little things that you do, cookouts, impromptu things, Free Fall Friday. But I think the sense that there's a family, and you can leave your family at home and then come here and be a part of something that you're proud of. And you have that sense that you're not just at a job, you're going to be learning something new every day, every week, because we work with varying clients, and the no 2 days are the same for sure. And I think that in itself is unique.
Well, gentlemen, I think that's a good place to put a pin in this first episode. But if you stopped by to see us and hung around this long, we appreciate it. And we will be bringing these conversations on a pseudo regular basis anyway. We hope that you'll come back and join us for the next one.
Hey, thanks for setting this up, John, and thanks for jumping in, Derek, with your words of wisdom and insight. We look forward to sharing some more things that you might want to know about down the road.
Yeah,
Thanks.
if this sort of thing appeals to you, hit the like button, the subscribes, and the bells, and all that fun stuff. And we'll see you all on the next one.
Thanks.